I thought my marriage was perfect until my spouse filed for divorce. Then I overheard a life-changing conversation. I never imagined that my life would unravel in a single moment. Yet there I was, standing at the precipice of a painful truth that shattered my world. My name is Emily Carter, a 34-year-old journalist living in the vibrant city of Boston. For the past 5 years, I had been married to Daniel, a financial analyst whose steady nature had always been my anchor. Or so I believed. We had built a seemingly perfect life together. A comfortable home in a quiet neighborhood, weekend getaways to the Cape, and a shared love for literature that had fueled endless conversations over glasses of wine. But all of that was reduced to ashes one crisp autumn morning when Daniel dropped a bombshell on me. Out of nowhere, he wanted a divorce. No explanation. No fights leading up to it. Just a cold, impersonal statement that left me breathless. I sat across from him at our kitchen table, the morning light filtering through the blinds as he sipped his coffee like it was any other day. My hands trembled as I placed my cup down, struggling to comprehend what he had just said. "I don't understand, Daniel," I managed to whisper. "Why now? What happened?" His expression was unreadable. "It's just not working, Emily. I think we should go our separate ways." A lump formed in my throat. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing that would justify such an abrupt ending. I searched his face for any hint of guilt, regret, anything. But he gave me nothing. Days turned into weeks, and despite my desperate attempts to understand, he remained distant. I cried, I begged, I even suggested counseling. But he had made up his mind. Friends and family were just as shocked as I was. My parents tried to console me, reminding me that people change. But deep down, I knew something was missing from the puzzle. It wasn't until one evening, when I overheard a conversation I was never meant to hear, that the horrifying truth came to light. Daniel had left his phone on the kitchen counter while he stepped into the shower. I wasn't the kind of person who snooped, but when it rang and the caller ID flashed with his best friend's name, Michael, I hesitated. A voice inside me urged me to pick up, but something held me back. Instead, I let it go to voicemail. Moments later, a message notification appeared on the screen. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pressed play. Michael's voice came through, low and urgent. "Dan, man, you sure about this? You know you don't have to go through with it, right? She doesn't know a thing." My heart pounded as I leaned in closer, listening intently. "Look, I know she's been good to you, but it's too late now. You already made your choice. Just stick to the plan and keep it clean. She doesn't have to find out." The message ended, leaving me paralyzed with shock. What plan? What didn't I have to find out? I felt like I couldn't breathe. My body moved on autopilot as I grabbed my keys and stormed out of the house, my mind racing with possibilities. I needed answers, and I needed them now. I drove aimlessly for a while before finally pulling over near the waterfront. The cold wind whipped against my skin as I tried to make sense of what I had just heard. My instinct screamed that this was bigger than just a man falling out of love. Something was being hidden from me, and I wasn't going to rest until I uncovered it. That night, I confronted Daniel. I played the voicemail in front of him, watching as his face drained of color. His mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air, but no words came out. "What is this about, Daniel?" My voice was calm, but inside I was on fire. "What choice did you make? What have you been hiding from me?" He ran a hand through his hair, avoiding my gaze. "Emily, It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is, because from where I stand, it sounds like you've been keeping something from me." He exhaled sharply and sat down, his shoulders slumping under the weight of his secrets. "I met someone else. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. I didn't know how to tell you, so I thought this was the cleanest way." The room spun. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. So this was it. The man I had loved for years, the one I had built my life around, had been unfaithful. And instead of owning up to it, he had chosen to walk away without a shred of remorse. A strange calm washed over me as I stared at him. I had spent weeks crying, feeling like I wasn't enough, when in reality, he had been the coward all along. I wasn't the one who had failed our marriage. He was. I stood up, my decision made in that moment. "You're right, Daniel. We should go our separate ways. But don't fool yourself into thinking you did this for me. You did this for yourself." For the first time, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Regret, maybe. But it didn't matter anymore. In the weeks that followed, I went through the motions of divorce, but something inside me had shifted. I was no longer the broken woman sitting at that kitchen table pleading for answers. I was stronger, wiser, and more determined to rebuild my life on my own terms. Looking back, I realized that losing Daniel wasn't the tragedy I thought it was. The real tragedy would have been staying with someone who didn't value me. And as I walked away from that chapter of my life, I carried with me the most valuable lesson of all. Sometimes, the end of a love story is the beginning of a stronger, more resilient you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more captivating tales.